ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Diz Idiots. You know, we're a podcast. We talk about Disney. We talk about things that aren't Disney. We talk about Star Wars. We talk about Marvel. Occasionally, we talk about Universal, and we talk about Horror Nights. In fact, we may just begin renaming the last half of the year to Horror Nights Recap 20 whatever. But
Isn't
that
it
works.
30?
You know what?
Isn't
Yeah.
it 30?
Hey, careful. We already got I could already start early rumors for next year.
Yeah, so we got Bruce up there, sparkling like he can know. I'm tongue-tied, so whatever.
Shine like the sun, baby.
We've got Brian over there. Talking backwards today, he will.
Force is with him.
It's
Where I
Baby
go, they
Yoda.
Where he
Hey.
goes, I go.
At least you're not eating frog legs.
Dagobah, what?
And I'm your host, Dozer. Just sitting here, getting ready to talk about some Disney. And, I think we should start off with the bombshell that there are some media executives that predict a certain Bob will be replaced by a certain former Bob.
What?
Come on, Bobo. Come on back to us, baby.
Forever?
Forever.
And you know what? Here's the thing I have to say. If this comes to fruition, I'm not going to applaud the return of Iger. I'm a keep moving forward kind of guy, and the return of Iger is not a long-term answer.
You don't replace pigs with pigs.
Yeah, it's
Right.
it's a fix. It's a placeholder till they could get the right person to say yes, and we just gotta go from a Bob to a Tony. We need some Italians in here. That's all. That's the whole answer.
A T, a Tony, a Tom, one of you boys. Come on. We know you want to say yes, or both of you. Listen, I'm okay with both. I can live with that. It's a solution I'm okay with.
Yeah.
Why not both?
Okay. Literally. Couldn't we do worse?
All the great things of Disney have always been teams. So
Mhm.
two isn't bad. We need a team.
Yeah.
We need a Roy.
We need a Roy in the worst way.
Well, hold on. Let's talk right now. We have a Roy right now. We need a Walt right now.
Yeah.
We have a Roy. We have a penny pincher to the high heavens.
Oh my God. Yeah.
That's an understatement. No. See, I wouldn't even say we have a Roy. That's an insult to Roy to compare the two. But I mean, you're right. We have the finance guy, but he needs to be the number two to the ideas guy.
Look,
And Josh tomorrow, I just don't know if he could cut it.
in the grand scheme of things, no matter when his term ends, Chapek is not going to be compared to Eisner, Iger, or Disney's. He is going to be compared to Card Walker, who is probably...
Exactly.
That's what everyone else listened to this. Me and you were nodding our heads in pride, and everyone else went, huh?
Exactly.
Like the Texas Ranger guy?
And
Yeah.
if you know anything about Disney history, Card Walker is essential to the building of Disney World. This man is a
Right.
genius, but he knows nothing about running a multinational company. And Brian is drinking a really large thing of water. You know they
No,
make cups.
It's vodka. I'm going hard.
In Soviet Russia, vodka drink you.
You.
Vodka, make your strong leg bull.
They make cups. You can take that and decant it into a smaller vessel.
True, but I usually take these to work with me, and it's like, they're actually cheap too. That's like 59 cents for a gallon.
Yeah, it's tap water.
Mine says spring water, but I agree to disagree. But go on.
Well, regardless, the man was probably the worst CEO of Disney Entertainment in the history of CEOs until, well, maybe now. I don't know if Jay Peck will be the worst ever, but he ain't going to be the best.
The problem, it's obviously because it's so early, especially if he gets replaced so soon, it would be hard to say. But we're not on a good path here. It's no secret, folks, if you've been following us, but we've all said this. Even before he was the guy, when we heard his name, it's like, that's not the guy. I really don't care what anyone says. I didn't believe it then. None of us did. Obviously, here we are.
The answer that would be better than Chapek is to go the Eisner route even and pull an outsider in.
They've done that a lot of times in the past with just low levels of the parks to boost just the park level. I would not be surprised if that was the answer. But
Bruce, what's the guy's name from who created Halloween Horror Nights?
Zimmerman, Julie Zimmerman, and I'm blanking on his name.
There was a heavier set guy I'm thinking of.
There was two. Jewel, it started with Julie Zimmerman. Then Then she went on co-created it with I'm blanking on his name.
Because he started his career on Jaws. He used to work at Universal. I mean, the guy's like started from the Universal from the ground up. But I'm thinking like either him, which would be a really crazy move, or someone like him though.
Wait a minute. Well, wait a minute. Are you talking about Aiello?
Yeah.
No, okay. I thought you meant who originally created it.
No. I'm
Aiello?
Aiello.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Him per se, but someone like him.
Yeah.
Someone like him.
Considering he just got a promotion, I think he's okay where he is.
Yeah.
And Aiello would be, excellent because he's working his way up there. But we wouldn't. Someone like him would be excellent. But Aiello was a lightning in a bottle find. Yeah, you would need somebody who truly, truly, truly knew started day one, worked from the ground up. Yeah, Aiello would be. Listen, I would. If Disney found their version of Mike Aiello, Santa, please.
Right.
That would. Yeah. You're right. Now, Brian, I agree. That's a whole run. Michael Aiello is unfortunately that's a once in a lifetime find.
I know. Like, how much you want?
Also, folks, really nice guy. Awesome. If you ever met him, super, super cool guy.
The real question comes in, though. Like, Disney has so many different businesses. How do you find one guy that knows enough about all of that?
Right.
You really, at this point, you really can't. You have a CEO, but you're going to have to. Basically, a CEO just has to go, okay, I know enough, but go to your leaders each division. That's the way it has to be almost because.
Honestly, at this part with Disney as a corporation, pretty much the CEO just needs to sign he or she just needs to sign the paycheck. Like that's it.
Yeah.
Like
you have to have a strong business mind.
You have to know enough about every division. And I think the parks is what comes up most in their discussions.
Yeah.
Not because it's the most important, because Disney has so many fingers.
Right.
But because it's the one that will take the most capital expenditures.
It's the
Films,
hardest.
very rarely are you going to sit there and need to sign $1 billion check.
When they float things up the river, that's usually as you go up the steps. Every time you go up, oh crap, we got to tell oh God, we got to tell Rhodey, oh God, we got to keep. Somebody has to tell Bob Iger or Bob Chapek or Eisner, whoever it be. And I agree with you. It's because of the size of the projects, but also there's a lot of, when it comes down to theme parks and smarts and knowing how to run a theme park, Hollywood, there's a lot of people who can do Hollywood. When it comes, really, if you look at it out there, take a look at the big chains and everything. When it comes to theme parks, that's not easy to find that lightning in a bottle guy like an Aiello. I mean, Disney, Universal, Six Flags, Cedar Fair, any of them. Heck, even Dollywood. It is so hard to find someone who truly can understand and know, like you said, are we making a $1 billion mistake? Are we making a $1 billion smart decision?
Yeah, $1 billion with a B that is like the one thing that you can truly say, even in business, is a lot of money.
Right.
Hey, think about this. I'll just take Disney out of the equation here. Just go Six Flags. We're going to buy a roller coaster. That's $40 million.
Yeah,
we're making a $40 million. And how many times do smaller parks, Six Flags, Cedar Fair, do a $40 million gamble that doesn't pay off, and they're gone 2 years later? It's all sorts of issues. I know kind of apples to an extent. It's apples and oranges, but it's still in the industry.
Right.
It is. You know what? How about this? Anybody remember Dan Snyder at Six Flags? Anybody?
No.
That name rings a bell, but
Oh no,
continue.
Dan Snyder out of the Redskins. No one wants to talk about when Dan Snyder was involved with Six Flags. No one wants to remember those years.
No, I was trying to suppress it, and my mind couldn't. My mind was literally blacking out the owner of the Washington football team, and I'm sitting here going, thinking Dan is Zack, going, what the hell was Zack Snyder doing with it? Even the Batman section doesn't look like Zack Snyder. It's not sepia toned.
I knew it. I'm like Dozer. I know I'm bringing back bad memories. When Dan Snyder was with Old Spice and whatever, when he was part of Six Flags, it was a disaster. It really was. Bad decisions. You know, like your team, the football team. But that's beside the point.
Oh, dear Lord. Could you imagine if the tag team to run Disney was Chapek and Snyder?
Oh, my God.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
The things, you know what? I want this. You know why? The documentary would be amazing one day. The things we would get, the ideas that would be, Snyder would have an idea. It would be so done, so cheap. You'd be literally looking and going, it's painted cardboard, but I can see the back. What's going on?
Congratulations. You have pay toilets now in Disney.
Oh, the things we would see. Oh, that would be excellent.
Or if the toilets are free. You got to pay for the changing tables.
No, toilets are free. Got to pay for the toilet paper.
And then there's a lightning lane to use the stalls too.
I know some ladies that would happily pay for that lightning lane.
Oh, jeez, we're joking, but it's you know what, that really is an armchair engineering idea.
And you know damn well which bathroom they're going to start with. It's going to be the tangled ones. That's the testing for the lightning lane.
Oh yeah, that's the deluxe bathroom. No other bathroom in Disney World do you sit there and somebody goes, "Well, have you found all the Pascals?"
Yeah. Hey, it's better than being in the bathroom and hearing some moaning Myrtle in the background, okay?
Yeah, that is a little creepy at Harry Potter. We're going to the bathroom, you hear this like giggling, going, "What the hell is going on there?"
I get it. People like his immersiveness. Who thought that was a good idea? I'm behind the Pascals at least. I can get behind that.
I am okay with in the world, like once you cross the threshold of the bathrooms don't need to be themed. They can be bathrooms.
And perfect example, Galaxy's Edge. I'm not kidding. Did you use the bathroom in Galaxy's Edge when you went down?
I don't think I did.
From the outside, it's blended in, but I'm not kidding you. When you walk into the bathroom, you actually get a disappointment because you walk into a Star Wars bathroom going, "Well, this is normal."
But I'm okay. You know what? I think it's better. And again, I'm not knocking Pascal here. For something like Star Wars, I think it's better to have a normal bath. You know why? Otherwise, you're going to have people wasting time in the friggin' bathroom. And you know what I want to do? When I'm going to a bathroom, for the most part, especially at Disney, it's go time.
Hold on. Let's just put this a little more. You know what's going to happen? People are then going to take photos of the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's a not okay thing.
Yeah, no. Don't theme bathrooms.
We're gonna have. That's it. That's a Chapek Snyder idea for you. We're gonna have character meet and greets at the bathrooms.
God, it's.
Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me right now I'm wrong.
Somewhere the term glory hole needs to be applied into this topic. I just heard.
Merry Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, happy holidays.
Oh, dear Lord. The Disney bathrooms.
That's it. We're canceled, apparently. How can we be canceled? Who knows, but we're canceled.
If you've listened to my wrestling show, we're fine.
I know. I'm joking, obviously.
But that would be terrible.
It reminds me, though, seriously, like the Star Wars bathrooms remind me of Orlando International Airport bathroom. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, it just has this, like, very plain, same color tone, but just very plain, simple airport bathroom.
It's a bathroom.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, with starships landing and leaving, an airport bathroom would technically be
Right. So
on
there's
par. That is theming
the
right there.
theming. There is theming there. That's what I'm saying. It feels like an airport bathroom, but it just seems weird because it's like you're in Galaxy's Edge, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, here's the bathroom.
Well, it further goes. How do you theme a bathroom in Galaxy's Edge? Because then you begin to. Do you put in some sort of unique toilet? Because you have all the animals?
Well, and I'll say this
A
too.
Japanese
Aliens.
toilet. Press the surprise button. See what happens.
The Arabesh or whatever the alien language. For a quick second, it is hard to find the restrooms, but then you'll notice, like, when someone points it out, it says restrooms, but it's actually, like, in English, just designed to look like it blends into the.
I did see them, and frankly, it's actually one thing I'm all for theming. That's the one thing I think that should not necessarily. I get it; it's supposed to be immersive. I'm all for that.
Right.
That's the one thing that really should stick out. That was the only thing I was like, I do remember passing and going, if that's the restroom, I found it on accident. I was like, I don't have to go,
Right.
but like, good to know. I agree. That's the only, I like it. I'm all for the immersiveness, but that's the one thing in a tourist destination. Really, because there's going to be a point when someone's going to have that emergency when seconds are key, not minutes. We have seconds.
You mean
Right,
a
and-
place with
yeah.
toddlers that this bathrooms might suddenly become an urgent need?
Also,
Yeah.
when you have a 20-minute attraction, just throwing that out there.
Which, by the way, you're in a bad line at Cedar Fair when they have midline bathrooms.
Uh-huh.
Oh. Yeah.
Or, if you remember the old backlot at Tour, mid-attraction bathrooms.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And you need it, but you did. That's the only problem when you have something that long is it does. These things do matter.
Yeah.
The only also not to keep going on bathrooms here. Can you imagine that? You're trying to go to the bathroom, and freaking stormtroopers are sounds are banging on the door. And you're like, I'm just trying to use the restroom, man.
Kylo Ren's outside.
What comes up to you going, have you seen these droids?
Are they in the stall? Because that's where I'm going.
Have you seen these droids? I have to go to the bathroom. Take a quick look.
So,
Now.
speaking of that, when I was in Disney, I was sitting at the Roto Roasters with Bella, just waiting for Meg to get off of Rise. And we're watching the one store, and there's the stormtroopers walking on the top. And you see the one stormtrooper stop and look down at like an 8-year-old. The 8-year-old, without missing a beat, just sits there, looks up at him, and flips him the bird. And walks on. I'm like,
That's excellent.
I wish I had time to take a picture of that,
That
because
would be that's an excellent photo right there.
by the point you're 8, you clearly know enough to know they don't have actual guns,
Yeah.
and he can't even really do anything to you because he's on a pathway, a story above you.
Right. But
My-
still,
my
like,
nephew
the
did not
image,
like them.
the image of an 8-year-old giving a stormtrooper the finger, just like, to me, that is just meme worthy.
It is.
You know what I mean? Like, people could just post stuff, anything from, like, my childhood's ruined or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that is meme worthy.
My
Oh.
nephew really did not like them. So when they came up to him, he kind of started freaking out. Okay, he's freaking out. The stormtrooper turns to a little, again, maybe like a 6-year-old kid next to him, and the little kid just looks up without missing a beat. Puts his hands in the air. I was like, oh, that's so cute.
That is funny.
So, I will say, for a little bit, I do kind of miss the old Star Wars weekends, because there is something different about having cast members be the stormtroopers compared to the 501.
Right.
Because, yeah, they were walking around the park, but they were never 100% serious
Right.
because they weren't cast members.
Well, now we have. Come on, who wants to say it? Character integrity!
Bruce loves character.
Oh,
integrity.
you all, come on. Any chance I get to use that phrase, you know I'm going
Character integrity of stormtroopers. They're ruining them in their own media.
to. No, I'm just saying the character integrity. Saying character integrity. It
Which-
counts.
Soft spoiler alert for The Mandalorian. I still love the stormtrooper that punches Grogu. When the two guys are on the bike yapping and he punches the bag.
Yes.
Still haven't seen it.
I was like, wait a minute. When did that happen? I do remember that.
Still have not watched it, so.
I would love. Have either of you watched any of Star Trek Lower Decks?
No.
Is it good?
It is good. Imagine those later MTV shows like Total Drama Island, but with Star Trek.
Is it like really kid-ish, or is it more like a Rick and Morty cartoon, or somewhere in between?
Teenage.
So like Teen Titans.
Maybe a little older. It's like geared towards where MTV cartoons were geared. They're not quite fully adult. And I'm specifically talking, and not MTV, the Cartoon Network, the Total Drama Islands.
Okay. Johnny
It's-
Bravo.
Yeah, it's older, but it's not adult. It's pretty good, but I think a series like that on Disney Plus of Stormtroopers.
That would be excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Like,
Excellent. I'm already here for it. I've never seen the Star Trek show, but I think that'd be excellent. I'd actually watch that. That to me,
would
that's
be a
something I would
fun
pull me in.
show.
I think that would be excellent. Hey, you could go one step further. You can make it stop motion.
no, I think animated would be the way to go.
Yeah.
But and if you haven't seen Lower Decks or don't know the premise, it's the B team. It's the people that go in after the Enterprise was there, another ship to help with the recovery, and the people that work on the lower decks. And it's just hilarious because they're so. It's drama filled. It's
It sounds good. I've seen commercials and it's looked funny. It's looked like as I said, it's a more comedic version of kind of like the Orville is what it looked like almost.
yeah.
Are they bringing that back? Because
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I
Thank
believe
God.
it's coming back early. And they're done with it. They have finally filmed it. Stop that. Sorry.
Love that show.
Right, it's such a good show. But it looked like a more comedic, and not that the Orville's not comedic, but it looked like a more over the top comedic version like that. And Lower Decks. Where can you watch it, buddy?
Paramount Plus.
No,
If you need a
well.
login, just hit me up.
Yeah, I have a free version of Peacock for Halloween Kills.
Yeah, well, sadly, it's not Peacock. It's CBS's.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to know. I'll see what happens. See what we can do.
Because CBS has all the Star Trek stuff.
Yes, I know. As
Yeah.
I said that, I was like, "Oh, it's gonna be Paramount." Duh. That was I had him.
Yeah, I know. I got to start digging it because I started watching Picard finally. I know, behind the eight ball on that one.
Behind the eight ball.
Merry Christmas, Kyle. And we are idiots, and I'm not 100% sure that being in the ECV is we're the best target our podcast for you, or at least if you're on the bus. I apologize for that.
Yeah. Especially like 10 minutes ago about bathroom stalls and
Well, hey, nothing wrong with the bathrooms. We like them not being themed.
yes,
But
do.
no, you got to Stormtrooper lower decks. That's where it's at. The lower decks of a Star Destroyer.
actually I can probably do one better. So I can even have like okay, hear me out. You remember in Clerks when
Yes,
when they're
I
talking.
was going to say the Christmas special is going to be the contractors on the Death Star.
Yes, have it directed by Kevin Smith.
Oh, he would do it 100%. You know what? He might do it for free. You might have to pay him. You'd be like, "Hey, Kevin, yes, well, I'm done. I'll do it. Well, I'm done. I'll do it. I don't care. I mean,
Like
He might
seriously,
say
just the
his one
contractor.
requirement might be, well, there just has to be a Jay and Silent Bob cameo in there somewhere.
No, even better, have Dante and Randall do the voices of 2 stormtroopers, and one is not even supposed to be there today. It's like right before the Death Star gets blown up. I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Yep.
Congratulations, Disney. We have just made a better Star Wars show than some of the ones you've proposed.
I don't know why they just come to
basically-
us. We're full of great ideas.
Basically, Clerks, but in Star Wars. Kevin, if you're watching, that was my idea, but all the credit goes to you.
Kevin, if you're watching, why? We love you, but why?
There is better content.
Yeah, we're happy you're here, but why?
You know, so I don't even know where to go from that.
Well, I will.
Okay, you go somewhere.
So you guys were talking about, corporations and how Disney's the umbrella and owns all these other business companies like Lucasfilm.
We did not say umbrella because that's a registered trademark.
True. Okay.
Sorry, Resident Evil Joe. Couldn't help myself. Go on.
Anyway, so another company's Marvel. And I saw Spider-Man No Way Home.
You're going to call it Turn Off the Dark because you keep calling it Turn Off the Dark.
Do I?
There's been like 3 episodes you've called it Turn Off
You
the
called
Dark.
it Turn Off the Dark before, which
I have
always
Turn Off the Dark. Or you said Turn Off the Dark.
You.
I sure as hell didn't say it because I've seen Spider-Man Turn
I
Off the
wouldn't
Dark
say
like
it.
6 times.
I wouldn't say
The
it.
table, buddy.
We might have to go back and, recap that for evidence. But let me just say this. So this is Sony. Marvel's affiliated. So it's Kevin Feige's baby because he's the one that's overlooking the entire Marvel company. This movie, I swear to God, Disney has a run for their money. I'll just say that because I cannot fathom how fantastically written this Spider-Man movie was, and by far it was probably the best Spider-Man film ever. Ever.
There's that's a good statement
20
to hear.
years of Spider-Man movies. Best Spider-Man film to date. Not going to give spoilers, but for those who have been watching the trailers, we do know that half villains are in this movie. There were some predictions that did come true in this
Just
film.
say it. We all know that the other 2 Spider-Men are in it. Come
Yes.
on. That's not a spoiler.
Okay.
We all know it.
Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are both in this film. To the point where I want Andrew Garfield in another Spider-Man movie. He was that good that I want Amazing Spider-Man 3 to actually
It wasn't ever bad.
Well, true.
It wasn't bad. The movies weren't great. Unfortunately, that second movie really tanked
But
because it really was not great.
But what I loved about this movie, there's 2 reasons why I really liked this No Way Home. One, it didn't, even though as much as I love Iron Man, this movie I felt is a bridge between the Marvel Cinematic Universe Tom Holland Spider-Man and the Spider-Man Spider-Verse with Sony. Like, this film didn't really touch with Tony Stark like the other 2 films did. This one had elements to it that were like, oh, that makes sense. Or, oh, I never thought of it that way. That's cool. That's pretty badass. But the 3 of them together was more of a brotherhood in this movie. And it was perfect. Absolutely perfect. There were some surprises I did not see coming, and there's two credit scenes. The first one, I'm trying to remember what the first one was kind of like a, but what was the whole point then? And I don't think it's really a spoiler, so I'll say this. So the first post-credit scene is Tom Hardy's Venom, and if you remember,
surprise,
right? So it kind of goes with his other credit scene from Let There Be Carnage. So the two of them are connected, but then the way how the scene ends, you're like, well, okay, and then there was, so they did this little like tease with his post-credit scene where it's like, okay, so that just happened, and then there's this little thing at the end of the teaser of his scene where we're like, oh, okay, so that's interesting. But then after the credits, we got a full-length trailer of the Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. It was a full trailer, and oh my God, are we in for a ride?
Well, we all knew that.
But what they showed us in the trailer, I was like, shit. Have you guys seen What If?
No.
Parts.
Okay. So one of the What If episodes is what if Doctor Strange didn't lose his hand but his heart, and it's this episode where it's what if I forget the doctor's name that Rachel McAdams plays in the movie. Mm-hmm. But in this what if chapter, it's what if she died in a car accident and he was trying to find a way to bring her back to life. So the entire episode of What If, he just becomes darker and darker with all this ancient powers and dark magic to try to bring her back from the dead and all this stuff, to the point where he becomes this like Mephisto-looking demonic evil twin Doctor Strange, essentially. Mm-hmm. Well, in the trailer for Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, that character from What If, the evil Doctor Strange, is battling and it's Benedict Cumberbatch twice in the movie. He plays his evil doppelganger.
Counterpart.
So his counterpart, exactly. So it's like they're bringing in the What If. So that scene was like, oh my God, they're bringing in the What If characters now to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So
well, they already did. What If itself was MCU canon. They already. But
I'm saying that. Live action version though. Mm-hmm. Instead of the animation, they're using like making them live action characters. So, but overall though, like Spider-Man No Way Home set up a fourth Spider-Man film. But the way how the story arc works, I'm honestly okay if they didn't do Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland. Just the way how the trilogy was bookend. Like, this was definitely a bookend chapter. I really, really enjoyed.
I know how the movie ends.
How do you know how the movie ends?
Just from what you said, it's a very common storyline from what you just said and know the premise of the film. Know how the movie ends now. Thanks.
But I didn't give anything away.
That's what a intense comic knowledge will do to you, especially in Spider-Man, where they repeat shit a lot.
I know Spider-Man of the comics. I'm not super well versed in all of them. Spider-Man, I don't always read them, but I usually follow along. There's a very common theme that happens in Spider-Man 2 or 3 times.
Well, poor Spider-Man.
Yeah, wow.
And that includes in What If. That includes What If comics.
So, I'm just thinking a bit, kind of staying in the MCU and derailing from Spider-Man for a moment.
Yeah.
You know, we have all this drama around Black Panther 2. And I'm beginning to feel that What If will play into how they retcon some stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think, especially with the more recent drama they've had, I think we're about to see Killmonger as the Black Panther.
I have a feeling too. Yeah, I mean Michael B. Jordan.
And
His comments were telling. He
Yeah.
should. This is one should have kept your mouth shut.
well,
And I like him as an actor. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a good actor. Should have kept your mouth shut here. You gave too much away by speaking.
but I will say, I'd hate to say it, when Chadwick sadly passed away, one of the first thoughts I had was, okay, how do we make Killmonger the Black Panther? Like, Killmonger's character was so perfect. One of the best villains I think Marvel's ever had. It was a shame to see him go in one movie.
That's part of the problem that MCU has had, is that villains are not long for this world. That's why I'm really glad we have What If and Multiverse. I'm glad the multiverse exists, kind of like what DC I've been saying for months has been doing. We're doing a lot of villains that are one-off, that these are great. Why are we getting rid of these? Are great villains. You know, we have villains in Spider-Man No Way Home that made their return. It's like, and these villains are going to keep coming back, because these are not villains villains come and go. In comics, they come and go. I know they're different. Right. The comics are different than the movies. I've always been okay with that. But there's so many good villains that we don't use, and some villains that they're gone. That's it. They're great. Killmonger's a great villain. We've had other villains. Doc Ock is a great villain. You know,
funny you should say that, because like the one thing I was hoping for in this film, and maybe they're still working on it, and Morbius is coming out too. So that's the thing that I love about this No Way Home, is that, like, even though I was hoping for, okay, so this isn't really a spoiler. There's only 5 villains in this movie. Everyone was hoping that there would be 6. It's just 5. Just 5 villains.
Haven't had a 6-1, so really.
Well, unless people count, I'll tell you guys after the show. Where was I going with this? Oh, so you have like Morbius, right? Another Spider-Man character. So Sony, like, this is what I thought is ironic, is that when Disney went to Sony, was like, how much you want for Spider-Man? They're like, well, this is the only property that we have. We have something in the works. You could use him for a few of his films, but we're not giving you the Spider-Man. Like, you can have Spider-Man, but that's it. And then he came back to Sony because, dude, they're working not just on a Spider-Verse, but when I say Spider-Verse, I'm talking like Steve Ditko, Stan Lee, Spider-Man comic verse. Like, their movies now, I think, are going to be bigger than anything Disney's ever even had.
Yeah, but they also risk personal. They have things planned that this bubble could burst very easily. Morbius, Kraven, Silver Sable, they're running a dangerous game here. They need to be sure of what we're doing, because they're on one bad movie and this all goes to hell.
True, but where I'm getting at, though, is like, when you talk about villains that are just like they come and go, Michael Keaton created Vulture in a way that I never thought could work. And it did. And they only had him in the one Spider-Man film, and now he's going to be, at some point in the movie, he's going to be in Morbius as Vulture. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you're going to be getting this, like, are they, like, with Morbius, is this sort of like the introduction to the quote-unquote not Dark Avengers, but like the Sinister Six movie, where, you get Morbius and all of a sudden you get this twist where Vulture's talking to Scorpion in prison or whatever, because or Shocker, and be like, yo, let's get a team together or something like that. Dude, I want a Sinister Six movie. That's what I'm saying. Like,
not with those 6. You just killed my soul wholeheartedly. Morbius.
Honestly, here's the other thing too. No Way Home, with the 5 that we got in the movie, to me, watching those actors, I felt like this was a tease. I was like, yo, these guys right here, what they're doing, how they're portraying their characters, this is what, like a Suicide Squad Sinister Six movie, where it's like the best of the best, Spider-Man villains, and they're all teaming up for like some destruction or I don't know, something. Like
Here's the
Carnage.
important thing I will say. I know they're trying to build out this full Spider-Verse, but there's one problem. If the Spider-Verse fails, it doesn't hurt the MCU.
Correct.
True.
If the MCU fails, the Spider-Verse fails.
Verse fails, yeah.
We have a lot of parts here that the reason I say it hurts my soul, just to give a little insight, I'm not a Morbius fan. There's certain villains I like and certain villains I don't like. I've never been a Morbius fan. I don't believe in this movie. I don't like Jared Leto is overrated. There, I said it. It needs to be said. He does a lot of the same thing. The trailer for Morbius looks okay, but I don't like having these movies about we don't need this. These kids' origin story is not that complicated here, kids. We're making it more complicated than it needs to be. But that I'm okay. Okay, shocker. You know, first off, and we're doing all this. They're doing all this. Why no Chameleon? We have had some of the bigger villains, you know, finally. But it's a little maddening. We're doing the Sinister Six, and here's the ones we're gonna do. It's like they've had so many iterations of it. Really, is any of them are involved at some point? Also, there's what we're all missing the elephant in the room here. There's one huge character that can't be Kingpin.
You guys been watching Hawkeye?
No. Kingpin can't be in the Spider-Verse, though.
Oh, no.
That's what I mean. They're missing the elephant in the room with the Spider-Verse. Kingpin is huge in Spider-Man 2. Yeah, he's a Daredevil villain. Kingpin is huge in Spider-Man as well.
There's another surprise cameo in No Way Home, too. And with Hawkeye on Disney Plus, I'm not surprised that Spider-Man...
Is it Charlie Cox? Because we all know he was on set.
The important thing to remember, though, No Way Home
being done with the MCU.
It's an MCU movie. It is not a Spider-Verse movie.
That's what I mean.
They can have characters that aren't ever going to be allowed in the Spider-Verse there.
There's characters that are never going to, could never be in the MCU the way they're going.
It's a nice blend with the Spider-Man films because Sony has the toys to play with the Spider-Man characters, but they can still coincide with the whole MCU story.
They can, but Marvel owns, but MCU owns Kingpin. So that's what I mean. There's just certain things that come into play here. There's a lot that, and again, that's part of a problem, and you can work around that. But because he's really never been a Sinister Six kind of guy, but at the same time, it hasn't been seen to me yet where I see their great plan working together. I hope I'm wrong because I love Spider-Man, and more than that. Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery rivals Batman's.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's the only other character Batman and Spider-Man are the only two I can see legit supporting villain movies. With the notable exception of Magneto, because he's half villain.
True.
But that's where it starts to get muddied. And again, the ones they're planning, Kraven gets his own movie? Huh? Silver Sable! That's the great idea for a movie, Silver Sable.
Well, that one can also say the same thing about Black Adam with DC.
But I'm talking Marvel here. Yeah, DC, DC's got its whole other thing. Again, Black Adam is an interesting idea, but DC, I really think they're doing Black Adam because they're doing Crisis on Infinite Earths, kids. It's happening. They're just waiting for it. They're doing Black Adam. They have I'm guessing that's part of their plan because why would you kill Blast Mask off in Birds of Prey?
True.
Besides, Black Adam has one very important thing.
Yeah, it has The Rock behind it.
Yeah. And I think the movie exists purely because The Rock said he wanted to play Black Adam. Like,
you know, a part of it, Black Adam could start fitting in one of the best DCEU films is Shazam. And I can't wait for Shazam 2. That movie rocked.
Shazam was actually fun. It reminded me of Big.
Shazam was awesome. They did that awesome. Zach Levi did a great job. I was impressed with Shazam. But when that's what DCEU has its own set of problems. It's good. It's got its own hurdles to handle. The MCU really hasn't had a true, it's been able to weather the storm. But that's the thing. Sony hasn't had to weather the storm yet. They're still starting. Venom, I'll admit, audiences have liked Venom more than I have, and they've taken the Venom better than I thought they would. But now starts coming where MCU at every turn, every time Marvel, MCU has brought up Guardians of the Galaxy, the perfect example. They literally sat there knowing if the audiences don't like this raccoon, we're in deep shit. They knew that. We have a raccoon in a tree. If they don't like either of them, we are done. We are in big, big trouble. Audiences, every time the MCU has come something forward, it was like, let's see. Flying colors, off the rails, great job all around. Spider-Man hasn't been able to do that yet.
3 words. They pay Vin Diesel to say 3 words.
3 words.
And just every time, they just absolutely have been able to do it. Knowing, if Iron Man failed, would I be having this conversation? Every step has just added on. Shang-Chi was awesome. If you guys didn't watch that Disney Plus yet, I thought Shang-Chi was awesome. Okay,
really?
There's no Fing Fang Foom, and that upsets me a little bit, but we'll see one day.
Okay, I have to watch this now because you're now like the 3rd or 4th person that told me that like Shang-Chi was a lot better than they expected.
I knew it was going to be a good movie.
I might actually have to watch this now because for the longest time I'm like,
it's a fantasy. Now remember, it gets into mystic fantasy territory here, but it's a good movie. It really is. It goes down easy. Great cast, excellent cast, all hardworking. Great movie. Heck of a lot better. I finally watched Black Widow. Beats the pants off of Black Widow. Every which way from Sunday. Every which way from Sunday. I did not like Black Widow.
Well, Black Widow was good, but I'm like that. I think it was just poor timing. That movie should have been released a few years ago.
We all know one of the things I hated about Black Widow, and I hated Taskmaster. I hated it. I hated her. I hated Taskmaster. I want the comic version of Taskmaster. But
that was
again,
I get why they did it. Get why they did it.
Weak villain at the end of it. It's like, really? But that's beside the point. Back to my point of the MCU has weathered the storm. Spider-Man's still starting, and all it takes is one flop to ruin everything they're planning. And we'll see. If it passes Morbius, I'm holding out hope. I hope Morbius is the hit they need it to be. I don't see it. You know what? Because frankly, we're doing Morbius. Why aren't we doing a Tombstone movie? A biker movie starring Tombstone? Because that's as good a chance as any to succeed.
I don't know. I see with Venom, the first one, I didn't see it in theaters. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to give this a shot at home. And I'm like, this was actually pretty good.
Yeah, but Venom is a much different villain than Morbius.
Oh, I get that.
Here's the big thing, and it's where the Spider-Verse will either succeed or fail. Because it's where the Marvel Universe truly succeeded, is they don't make the movies they make are not superhero movies first. They are other genres of film.
Yeah.
You watch that first phase and you go, when I got to Captain America, the First Avenger, and we had a war movie, not a superhero movie, a war movie, and you went, yeah, they've got this. They figured it out. They figured out the formula.
Right.
But even their off movies, they've weathered the storm through it. Mm-hmm. Spider-Man's too early for me to really say. I'm not saying you're wrong, Brian, and I haven't seen No Way Home, and I hope you're right, because I love like I said, I love Spider-Man in these robes, and I want them to succeed. Lord knows, I have been dying for Sinister Six. It's been teased twice now. Just give it to us.
I'm telling you, there's a moment in this film, and I looked over at my buddy, and I was like, yo, I'm like, because, okay, and this is where I'm coming from. Did you guys ever see Expendables with like Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger? Okay, so there's a moment where like Alfred Molina, William Dafoe, Jamie Foxx, what's his name, Thomas Church, the guy that played Sandman from Spider-Man 3.
Churchill.
Okay,
Thomas Hayden Churchill.
Thomas
I think
Hayden
of
Church.
Winston.
So he's back as Sandman, and they brought back the Lizard from
Kirk Connors.
Amazing. Yeah, but the actor,
Reese, whatever his
Yeah.
name is. The guy for the replacements.
Right. So like their moments, like it's as if they like never left. That's what I loved about this movie. Like so, and I'm sure they obviously use makeup and de-aging a little bit here and there, but like those five together interacting in a scene, I looked at them like, yo, this is my Sinister Six.
But that's the problem. That's the Sinister Six you're looking for. That's what you're not going to get. The problem is, like, can they, hopefully, because Frank, I hate to say it like this, Alfred Molina is so, and William Dafoe, all these guys, they're so good at their roles. I don't want to see anybody else unless, listen, if it's a Spider-Man 2099 and we're getting the female Doc Ock, I'm fine with that. There's certain ways you can do other things. But again, other things that could work. Okay, you want a Spider-Man movie that's going to work? Like I said, Tombstone, you got a biker film. Hammerhead, you got a mob film. There's ways to make things work.
Right.
Craven.
Ooh.
Morbius.
Give me the Hammerhead film. I want a mob movie. I think.
That would see, as I said, like mob movie, Hammerhead. Okay, that works. That works excellent.
I want to say, because this is important to harp on, that's what Batman's been missing. A mob film.
And I think we're going to be getting it with Matt Reeves' Batman.
I trust nothing with them.
I don't know.
I do not trust DC.
Yeah. Trying to think.
You already know they're thinking of doing the Joker again. Don't admit it. We all know they're thinking all the rogues we could do. Clayface, Falcone. There's all sorts of rogues we could have in here. Penguin could have his mob movie. No, we're gonna have the Joker again.
We're gonna have the Joker, and we're gonna see Bruce and Martha die again.
Well, didn't we already sort of have like a mob film with Batman Begins and The Dark Knight?
No.
With Carmine Falcone?
He was in it. It was not a mob film at all. Batman Begins, Ra's al Ghul was the villain, and Scarecrow was there as well. And they didn't even use Scarecrow that well.
And I'm following this theory of we're following the villains or the protagonist. And that's where we need the mob film.
I gotcha. Well, did you ever watch Gotham on Fox?
That's
TV
not the
show.
Same thing. TV. They do not count the. They do not count the TV, Brian. Because if not, why would we have a Flash movie when we have an excellent Flash TV show, including Gorilla Grodd?
Yeah.
Well, now there's the movie we all want. Planet of the Apes, DC style.
Like DC, they so don't count TV, and they have the best version of Batman's on TV. It's called Arrow.
The best version of all of them. Their TV
Which is now
shows
canceled.
were doesn't matter though. Their TV shows were excellent.
Yeah, they were
for a while.
good.
Marvel couldn't do TV to save their lives. DCU was kick ass at TV, and the movies were the opposite.
To the point where didn't they actually, if I remember an episode of The Flash, didn't Ezra Miller make a cameo?
Yes.
With Grant, yeah.
I believe so, with Grant Gustin. But yeah, just we have certain things that are just so they did it so well. Hey, Stuart!
And it's funny because really, comics are made for TV shows, especially long lineage comics like The Flash, like Arrow, like Batman. Like they're made for TV. They've had so many stories that trying to expand just one into a feature-length movie, you're not going to get the character.
And think about it. Growing up, the cartoons we had, Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, X-Men, we had some of the best cartoons with them, and they were able to dig deep, deep, deep down. Mr. Whatever heck is out of respect, Mr. Maloof from Superman was in it, for Christ's sake. Dollface. I mean, that's just Superman. Batman, we had all of them.
And DC, we've told you this before. There is a Batman movie you can make that people want. They don't know they want it, but they do. It's called Batman Beyond.
No.
I've always wanted that. Yes, and Michael Keaton as old Bruce Wayne.
Like it needs to happen. That
Sells
is
itself.
Yeah.
That's the movie people want. We don't need to see the original Batman again, saving Gotham from the Joker and, Bruce and Martha dying. Because they die in every movie.
Yeah. How many times? Unless we get
Batman.
unless in Flashpoint we actually get Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Batman, because in that storyline his parents don't get killed.
We still don't know 100% if they're doing Flashpoint, or if they're doing an adapted version of Flashpoint. Because Flashpoint, again, remember, Flashpoint was another unifier, like Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Right.
Okay, folks, just brief backstory here for a second, in case you don't know. Comics, especially DC, Marvel too, have had moments in their history when just the comics themselves, they were so convoluted, they needed storylines to fix everything. The one I keep mentioning, Crisis on Infinite Earths, unified everything that DC's convoluted this. They said, we're going to fix that. We did a storyline, excellent storyline that brought everything together. They like to do things like that once in a while, then they go apart, and after a while, the New 52 happened. You have to do things over and over again. But that's the DCU movies. That's what they need. They need, which Flashpoint was a thing, a storyline. But the problem I have with the Flashpoint movie, TV show did it, and it was excellent.
Yeah, I know.
Excellent.
I know.
So
When I heard they were
done.
doing when I heard they're doing the Flashpoint movie, I'm like,
Well,
Simpsons did it. Simpsons did it.
I also heard Flash was changing. They were supposed to be Flashpoint, then they changed their mind. I will say this: the only thing I really liked about the Snyder Cut was Ezra Miller's Flash.
Yeah.
A little more of him was excellent. I thought he did a great job. Because he had the humor with it.
And I've never seen Aquaman.
Congratulations, you've missed nothing.
I was gonna say I have no interest in seeing that movie.
Aquaman is a movie that is akin to a horror movie for me. I watched it and it was fine, but because I know this script, he was only a cameo. I know in other scripts, Topo, if you don't know, Topo is Aquaman's sidekick, who's either a squid or an octopus, depending on what year it is. Topo is heavily involved, which means Bruce ain't watching it. So Aquaman 2, I'm like, I don't want to see a trailer for that. This is like the live action Little Mermaid. Bruce don't need that in his life.
I don't need no Ursula.
Listen, I love Melissa McCarthy. I don't need no Melissa McCarthy on my screen as an octopus. Bruce will be going, why is that man throwing popcorn? Which actually happened during Finding Dory. I cursed in the movie theater very loudly.
For Hank? Is Hank the octopus?
The poster blinked. I very loudly went, oh, fuck no! The kids behind me were entertained. After the squid attack, my friend Alyssa next to me is dying laughing. She goes, stop it. The kids behind me were going nuts. Their mother was not. But the kids behind me heard me do this. It's like, it's a kid's movie. I'm like, this is too early for that.
Oh my god, I would have
If
loved
my
to
friend's
be
telling
there
me,
to hear
Bruce,
that.
you can't watch this. I'm like, I have to be brave. He goes, you're screwed. The cat poster blinks. It's animated. I know it's not real. Damn it, why'd I do this? But yeah, that Topo is his sidekick that's often usually heavily involved. But Aquaman's fun. It's cute. It's funny. Too little, too late. I don't know why you've heard me say this before. Why are we having an origin story for these characters after we've already seen them?
Yeah.
And Wonder Woman was their shining spot. Did anybody see Wonder Woman 1984? Barf.
So, if I remember,
yeah, rape. There, I said it. It needs to be said. Rape.
I'll say it this much. Thank God for HBO Max.
Yeah, well, that's where I saw it too. But that's also where I saw Suicide Squad, which was awesome.
I have HBO Max, and I still haven't seen it because I have respect for my
Matrix
time.
comes out tomorrow.
That I will watch.
Not a Matrix fan. I'll watch it eventually, but not a Matrix fan.
I just want to know the explanation. Why is Morpheus young, but Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss are still, older?
Here's your explanation. It's science fiction.
I know. But I want to hear
it's
their
like Doctor Who. Their explanation, 2 + 2 = chair.
My name may be in Leet for a reason.
Yeah.
Also, my name may happen to be a character from The Matrix, and I hate that I disappear. I die in the first film.
Yeah, I wasn't fond of that either. That they killed off Dozer. I was like, what the hell, man?
This is even before I met him.
I went somewhere and I introduced myself as Dozer, and they went, "Oh dear God, you're a Matrix freak." No,
It's
that is my
last
name.
That is my last name.
Everyone calls me Dozer.
Like I'm sorry. I happen to be I have a name that is also a name of a character in a film. My parents did not know that. The film did not exist.
I know.
Very much wasn't a twinkle in their eye, if you will.
Yeah, I'm probably also a name in multiple child's TV shows based around construction because they can never think of a good name for a bulldozer. So it's Dozer.
Almost sounds like a character from Cars too, actually.
Cars 4. Construction.
Should
No,
See,
Major
I thought Cars was going to
cousin.
be called Junkyard.
this is my cousin Dozer, and it's like voiced by Bill Ingroll or something like that, or
Jeff Foxworthy.
yeah, there it is. Yeah, Jeff
Oh,
Foxworthy.
or no, for Dozer, I got to honor my boy here, Ron White.
Yes, yes. That what? Yes.
It's just too perfect. It's just too perfect. Cigar in hand, whiskey, drink in the other. It's just too perfect for you, buddy.
And Ron White does happen to be my favorite out of them. So yeah,
I've seen them all live. But I've seen all of that tour live individually at some point, and I gotta tell you, Ron White is just they're all good, but Ron White's something else. He really is.
Why are we not working for Disney? I mean, we just came up with a Cars 4 pitch.
because people have seen Cars 3.
Oh, you know what? First off, I like Cars 3. I like the Cars movie. Shut up. Oh, why aren't we working for Disney? Because we actually like getting paid, and we think our deals should be valued.
True.
We would say, hey, we deserve benefits. Disney would say, I have cheese and crackers on a plate. This is your payment for the week.
Congratulations, you're contractors.
And
Yeah.
no, we are TAs. We would be temporary assignments.
So
You get benefits, you get minimum pay, and at the end of the project, we'll either reassign you as a TA or bye-bye.
Yeah.
I will say, I during all of our talk about Disney and CEO stuff, I just thought of how mortified Walt would be if Rhodey walked into his office.
Would he be able to see him through the smoke?
Hopefully not, but like you sit there and I gotta imagine at some point when some cast members being lectured back when the Disney look was really a thing. Now that they allow everything,
GLG.
but back when the Disney look was a thing, and then Joe Rhodey walks by and you go,
You know why? Because he's Joe Rhodey. He gets away with it. Listen,
I think he just started, and he started with a little stud earring. And then
I
he
think
kept
so, too.
adding shit to it to see if anybody would
And just-
say anything.
It's just
no,
grow
at
and
that
grow.
point, they really were. Listen, I was at the time I worked down there. Phil Holmes was president of the Magic Kingdom. I'm at guest relations, just talking to some guy, having a great conversation. Oh, hold on, I have to go take a guest. Walking back and forth between guests and everything, having a great time, talking college football and everything. Walks away and whatever. Guy, Brett, awesome guy I work with, goes, "Yo, Phil, can you believe Phil Holmes is down here?" I'm like, "Oh man, I missed him." Brett looks at me and goes, "Bro, you were talking to him for 25 minutes." I had no idea I was talking to the president of the park. No idea. This is the guidelines protected it. Didn't look at his name tag. I was having a great old time.
That's the best times.
That's
Yeah.
but however, because the reason I bring that up, you're right. Had it been Joe Rhodey, I would have known it was Joe Rhodey. First off, I would have hid the earring from 10 miles away.
I'm pretty sure I saw his like keychain in there too, like a set of keys. Just like I'm pretty sure at one point Joe was probably to the point where he's like, you know what? I bet I can probably carry my keys in my ear and I don't have to worry about finding them. They'll always be in my ear. Which door is it? Oh, let me just unhook it.
After the fact that he was so many people, he knew he could get away with it, and then he created Animal Kingdom. He goes, I am literally untouchable. I am quite literally God.
No, he at Animal Kingdom he just went, I'm in theme.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, after he created Animal Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, I'm in theme, and what are you gonna do? Fire me? I created this.
So I will say, and I don't know if it was intentional or not intentional, but on my trip we had dinner at Tiffin's. Well, a late lunch at Tiffin's, and we always eat at Tiffin's. This is our restaurant.
Never been. I heard great things.
Especially since Jico is closed currently. Tiffin's is my place.
Oh, Jico's so good.
Yeah. They're my both of my favorite restaurants on property are Animal Kingdom related because they're phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a tradition at the end of your meal at Tiffin's, you get a Joe Rohde sketch. We did get the Joe Rohde sketch. And I don't know if that's a change because he left.
Yeah, right.
Like, it's not like he really went to work for the competition unless Disney's getting into the space tourism market.
You know, but still, he promised something he couldn't deliver on, so still look at him.
Did you ask for the sketch?
I did not ask for it because normally you don't have to ask.
I would have challenged and be like, shouldn't I be getting a Joe Rohde sketch with this? To challenge the cast member to see if they know.
No, don't do that.
No,
don't challenge cast members. Don't be that guy.
Well, not challenge, but just seeing if they are aware that, like, you know, like if they would know, like, do they still give them out or not? Like
they are aware.
Trust
me, they're aware.
And I would. So both of the restaurants we had sit-down meals in at Tiffin's and Hollywood Brown Derby. That wait staff would know because that wait staff is lifers, more or less. You walk in there and you go, this person has been a professional waiter at Disney for 20 years.
Right.
You're not getting seasonal cast members in those higher end restaurant roles.
True.
If they haven't been at Tiffin's for a while, it's because they were working yachtsmen. Or, you know, Monsieur Paul, take your pick.
So they know what's going on, and especially Brown Derby. Like you walk there and you looked at some of those people and go, "You've worked at this Brown Derby since it opened, probably."
Yeah.
Which is funny because one of the worst meal experiences my parents ever had at Disney was at the Hollywood Brown Derby.
That does not surprise me as well.
Yeah.
Don't eat. The old joke used to be, "Don't eat in Fantasyland." New joke. Don't eat in Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
Just don't. There's no food there, and Epcot's a mile away. Go to Epcot.
What do you think of the Ronto wrap, though?
I didn't eat there. I just sat there.
You just sat there. Okay.
I'm not even sure they were serving food there that day.
Really?
Because I literally saw no one eating.
What time of day was that?
Between 3 and 5.
They were probably switching over for that would.
There's no switch from lunch to dinner. Like, it's the same menu.
Yeah. Well, I'm like, unless because I know they have a breakfast menu till like 11 o'clock.
Yeah, we were well outside the breakfast menu. We would have been in lunch.
Breakfast is the only time a changeover really matters. When you're changing over from dinner, it may just be a quick, we're closing to clean up and change over. But breakfast is the only time a changeover really matters.
Yeah. But you're right, though. Yeah, there really is no food at Hollywood Studios. I mean, there's like scenic restaurants like 50's Primetime Cafe, Sci-Fi.
50's Primetime is the last time I was there was like, this is so mediocre. Even the service isn't what it was.
Well, and the thing is, right now with COVID, like they can't really have the full experience with it right now.
Why not?
To the point,
they're waiters.
You set your own table.
It's literally the COVID restaurant.
Well, yeah, but it's like the
They
social
can
distance.
they can chastise you from 6 feet away.
True. I
And
just
even
think
before that, it just
I just think it's funny though. They actually have a mobile ordering for the 50s primetime cafe.
I'm
You-
still blown
you-
away by that.
it may be
Yeah.
it may be because they don't have the staff for it. They may have never brought enough people back. The problem is, especially at Hollywood, because you have only so many places, and because Hollywood just brought in something huge that needs more guests to get through. It may be. Listen, 50s primetime is not 50s primetime was not new. It's not built for 50s primetime sci-fi. None of these places are built with capacity. So you got to really hustle them through. What you did 10, 15, 20 years ago doesn't work now. So I understand that.
Yeah.
But I was just overall, even the food was like, this isn't what it used to be. But who knows? The last good experience I had there was 2015.
Sounds about right.
In fact, the waitress was so ecstatic because of how much Bruce drinks. She could finally go and make her 2 pitchers with the straw thing. She finally got a chance to do what she wanted to do.
Nice.
She was nice.
I do love 50s primetime, but I have been thoroughly disappointed by the wait staff on several occasions there.
They unfortunately, because they have to run, you have to get them in, get them out. I got 20 more families waiting outside. Come on, let's go. It's not their fault. I'm not blaming the wait staff. And again, the wait staff, she actually was there. She was newer there because she was a Liberty Tree girl. She was closed because Liberty Tree's kitchen was closed because of Skipper Canteen.
I feel at 50s primetime, there are a lot of times that you get judged if you don't have kids and don't get the full experience, which I find hilarious because I feel when it is a group of 20 or 30 somethings going in there as just adults, they're the ones who want the full experience.
They're easier to do it with.
Yeah, they want to be yelled at. They want to be told to sit in the corner.
Right. Put your elbows off the table and all that.
When I was last there in 2019, I could tell the waitress. We were there a little later, but I could tell. The waitress had it. She was having it was because of how fast they had to shove them through, us all through. I could tell it was just, they're not able to. That's why I could tell. I was like, you're not able to do it anymore, which is fine. But you're right. It made it my best time was my first time there because we didn't know. We had no idea. I just booked the reservation because I thought it sounded good. Great time. But since then, crowd capacity goes up and service goes down.
And the problem is, if you're not getting the experience, like, no one's really clamoring for meatloaf.
Hey, that pot roast is damn delicious for a while.
It is, but there's so many dishes on that menu that nobody's clamoring for.
The sample was my go-to, but yes, you're right. That peanut butter jelly milkshake.
I wouldn't know.
I know, buddy, but that sounds good. Pot roast and peanut butter jelly milkshake. Do you think they deliver? Can I Postmates that?
You don't want to see that delivery charge. And I hate Sci-Fi. I literally hate that restaurant. And it has no capacity.
Yeah, there is.
It has 12 tables. It's got nothing.
Looking back at the menu though, it is just like hamburgers, hot dogs, and milkshakes. Like there's not a big menu at the Sci-Fi.
No, that's it in Mama Melrose in Brown Derby.
Yeah.
That's your table. And Hollywood and Vine, which is usually all you care to enjoy affair. That's it. There's your sit down seating at Hollywood, kids.
And keep in mind, a lot of times at Hollywood and Vine, it's Disney Junior.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not even characters that adults could get behind seeing, potentially. It's, like, I don't think there's any group of adults that sits there and goes, yeah, Doc McStuffins and Vampirina.
I gotta tell you, I've been thinking for a while they should drop the character meal there. I thought that for a very long time. My last time there actually was for Halloween. That would have been 2016. I I know these are Horror Nights, by the way. That's how I'm categorizing this in my head. It was Horror Nights 26. So it must have been Halloween. It must have been 2016. But it was the meal was only okay. I would drop the characters. Frankly, I think character meals more belong at the resorts. It's okay to have one here and there at the park, but you got to have enough restaurants to do that.
Well, and I like the character meals at the park when they mean something. Like back in the day, you used to go to breakfast at Cinderella's Royal Table, partially for breakfast at Cinderella's Royal Table, partially because you got to get into the park early.
Like Crystal Palace. See, it was always Crystal Palace from there.
We never did Crystal Palace, but it's same thing. You go there to get in early. Like
Right.
you get an early reservation, you get to leave, and you're in the park before
Park,
anyone else.
You know, yeah.
And because they knew this, some of the Fantasyland attractions would be running,
Right. Wow, yeah.
even though you technically weren't at rope drop yet.
Right. You have to knock out like Small World, Peter Pan.
Peter Pan,
So
you're not going to
sad.
Small World. Get on the ride with the 90-minute line.
Oh yeah.
That was years ago, folks. Years ago, still 90 minutes. How does that make you feel? How does it make you feel?
To be fair, Fast Pass has never changed Peter Pan's line. It's always been absurd.
Because there's no capacity. I'm sorry, we can only fit 30 people in the building at a time. Or, you know, when you're Bruce, you have a boat to yourself. Why? I'm sorry, weight limits exist.
I just love the one time I was on one of the backstage tours, and for the tour we all rode Pirates, and I felt bad for that loader because there was a little bit of a line going on, but they did not really consider that a full boat of adults would be a bad idea.
Maybe I bought that shirt. That's the only time I've been like, this is Splash Mountain. We're all soaking wet.
There was literally like 10 boats bumping behind us because we were dragging on the bottom of the trough.
Oh my god.
I've had it when you're like, guys, what is coming in, folks? Why are you sitting like that? No reason. I'm holding myself in the air because we're sinking.
Like, it's just one of those things. Like, they know their rules. They know, okay, we could fit 3 to 4 adults per row. You. And go, maybe we should leave an empty row.
No.
No,
Right.
Did not think. I've had this on Splash when they told me front row. The heck you just say to me? Okay, you want me in the front row with somebody else? Your funeral.
Like how many party? Like how many party Bruce is like just one? Okay, row number 1.
Well, that's more or less what happened. I look at the little girl behind me, and I'm like, the people behind us. Me and my friends are the first 2 rows. I look at the people behind us very loudly when we start going. I am so sorry. Why? You'll find out. It was a deluge. Jurassic Park level. Whoosh.
Why? Physics.
We hit the bottom. I'm like, here we go, duck.
And that's the great thing. If you are big in the front row of Splash Mountain, you can actually duck and miss a lot of the water.
Yeah.
I was nice and dry. People in the 3rd row, you couldn't get more wet. Oh, fun fact, it started raining after that.
Oh man. Yeah.
That's insult to injury, and I love it.
Dozer, when you were down, were the geysers working at Splash Mountain at all? Or was it-
Honestly, didn't make it back there because why would I go back there?
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing in that corridor besides people for me and a toddler to
Yeah,
do.
that's true. That's true.
If the geysers, you know what? The geysers are the biggest thing. That's a pet peeve of mine because I swear they judge people. I swear they judge you by if they want to wet you. They go, okay, turn it up.
Well, when I was down in what was that? When did I go down? September,
June.
November.
That sounds right.
He has to ask the boss.
Yeah, that. They were off. All of them were off. Like it was weird. It was like watching Splash Mountain without like the effect.
Those geysers only exist to wet the people waiting to go up.
Yeah, true.
Think about it. It don't touch the boat going down. It only exists to, oh, look, there's water going over our heads, so it hits the boat waiting. I've had there plenty of times when you sit there going, oh, no. Oh, man. And you see the water coming, and you're like, there's nothing I could do. I literally have to sit here and close my eyes and just 2, 3, water in my ear.
Yeah.
I would hazard a guess that they are probably somewhat temperature dependent.
It's valid.
Like, I would probably say they're probably not running right now purely because it's December.
Well,
and it's not freezing, but it's...
And they're also getting ready for their annual refurbishment shutdown for like 2 months.
Remember who's in charge. It could just be a cost-saving measure.
We need to save that 30 cents on the electricity for those geysers.
Listen, the old rumor was Splash Mountain once broke down because of Milky Way wrapper.
Well, when I was also down there too, it was during a slight water shortage for the state of Florida. So I don't know if that has something to do with it too.
100%.
Yeah.
Trust me on this. You do not want to see the retaining pool back there.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Do not drink the water on Splash Mountain here, ladies and gentlemen. PSA.
If you lose a hat, just consider it lost, because it is.
Yeah.
Write that off. Don't bother going to Lost and Found.
The one picture I wish we had with Jurassic Park. Me and my parents on it front row. Me and my whole family on it front row. My dad forgot he had his hat on. Goes down. Hat comes off. The entire picture is everyone, us reaching back, everyone in the cart reaching for the hat. Get to the bottom. My dad goes, oh, I really like that hat. Back row, proudest he could get. This guy was so proud. Wish we had that pic. Wish we had bought that picture. It's everyone just reaching for the hat.
That's awesome.
So, just a random question. What is your favorite water attraction in Orlando in a dry park?
What do you mean? But define dry park.
Not a water park.
Okay, that's what. I thought you meant booze. Okay.
So, would SeaWorld count?
SeaWorld will count as long as it's not in the water park.
Okay.
Because
it has to be in Florida, right?
Yes, it has
technically
to be
Orlando.
Orlando.
So don't count Busch Gardens.
Well, I was thinking Escape from Pompeii, but that's in Williamsburg.
You already know my answer.
Honestly, for best water, I did like Journey to Atlantis when they actually had the rights for the Beetlejuice theme, but now they don't have the rights anymore, and that ride's completely like gone from what it used to be. So,
Bruce, what's your answer while Brian?
Splash Mountain, hands down. You know that. One of my favorite attractions on property. One of the best water rides in Orlando. I'm sorry. Jurassic Park, I've seen your videos from other countries. You can do better. You can do better. You should do better. You deserve better. Popeyes, great ride, but it's a Rapids ride. I love Splash Mountain. I really do. It's better than Journey to Atlantis. It's better than anything at SeaWorld. I really love it. I truly do. And I love SeaWorld. I've had some excellent days at SeaWorld. I love Splash Mountain. I really do.
Dozer, what about you?
Dudley Do-Right's Ripsaw Falls.
See, that's what I was leaning towards.
See, I love Dudley Do-Rights, but, well, I'm just going to say this. Have you guys ever been stuck in a ride and had to cycle it twice because they couldn't get you out?
No.
Yeah, I was stuck on Dudley Do-Rights for 3 times in a row because I couldn't get out.
I am sorry for the laugh, but...
Yeah.
My legs, because of my size and my legs, when my legs were locked in to like get out, I'm like, I need more time. Like, you don't have time. I'm like, I'm going again.
So, how is the ride back? Because it's a different entrance and exit.
It was not fun.
Hey, at least it's one of the ones where they give you enough headroom.
I don't really care for Dudley Do Rights. It's fun. It's a fun attraction. I will admit, I kind of do wish we could go back to the original Cartoon World plans where they actually split the logs in half. Um,
That would have been cool, but never happened.
Never was going to happen.
Yeah, I know.
Dudley Do Rights is an excellent one. That is a great attraction. Splash is still my favorite.
And we were talking about attractions that they could just do more total disappointment. Kali River Rapids.
Yeah.
Because I ride that every time and I go, oh, you forgot the rapids.
It's like, oh, there's an exploding oil tanker truck and trees are burnt.
The one at SeaWorld isn't bad, but when it comes to rapid rides in Orlando, Popeyes is freaking fantastic.
I used to joke about it because I went like 5 years in a row down there. 4 out of the 5 closed. I swore it was never open. I'm like, this ride doesn't open.
It opens like Wimpy's does.
And
Too soon?
I was in there and go, we go in August. It's hot.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, honest to God, I think Hershey Park had the best River Rapids ride.
Yeah. It was a good
I can
one.
see that.
You know what I miss? So many parks just don't have a good log flume because they forget the whole flume part of the log.
Doesn't exist anymore for the most part, unfortunately.
They're just like, oh, yep, your log goes up and it comes down. Okay, but what happened to all the small drops?
There's shoot the chutes, that's all. It's up, it's 120 feet in the air, big boats, up, turn, down, wet, go. All shoot the chutes, that's all.
Yeah. I thought Kennywood had like a good log flume themed ride.
Old parks that still have old log flumes do have good ones. Dorney has a pretty good log flume.
Yeah.
Dorney has an excellent. A lot of them also have to have the space. They have to have a mountainside to really make it work. Great Adventure has one, but it's meh.
On Shoot the Chutes, I also think Dorney with Lightning Landing or whatever, Whitewater Landing, one of the best Shoot the Chutes.
That one is because of its height. That one is excellent. Yeah. Listen. One of the best, I've never had to do it, but one of the best and probably scariest had to be Pilgrim's Plunge out at Holiday World. But what we're talking
that isn't even for the plunge, that's just for the elevator.
Not safe. My very first time on Popeyes Rapids rides. We're going, it's all fun, we're having a great time. My back is to the cave. All I hear is my sister and father across from me. My dad goes, oh, son of a bitch. My dad and my sister goes, oh, she's pointing and laughing. Why? We turn, I just see the tentacle. I'm like, you gotta be
Oh.
I'm like, what? What? And then I turn, I'm like, oh. Why?
Giant tentacle. Yep.
Why? But talking water attractions in Orlando, one of the most underrated things to do, especially if you go to Universal, bring quarters. Lots and lots of quarters. Because my buddy Eric turned me on to this. I'm giving Eric Diaz, buddy, I'm giving you all the credit in the world for this. The quarters to shoot water at people when they're on Dudley Do Right is so much more fun than it has any right to be.
Really?
Oh my God. You can, because they're perfectly timed level, and if you time it perfectly, you can shoot people right in the ear. It is, you get people, they're looking at you, they can see you about to do it. And literally, this one guy's pointing at me, don't you dare, I see that smile, don't you dare. I said, I promise, I wouldn't do that. He goes, what? He goes, you promise it. Yeah. Put him, he's got that gun. You can have so much fun just dousing people. I had people get off, they're like, seriously? I'm like, I got the money, you were in the ride, not my fault. It's happened to me plenty of times. When you look up, you just see the person, you're like, you figured it out in 3, 2, here it goes.
I would love one, and it would need to be stupid expensive. $5 to $10, maybe even a $20 if it's a big enough. And a giant dump bucket.
Where?
Oh.
On
I
Delta
don't-
Right,
Any of them.
I'd be here for it. I'm 100% down to
Just
just
like-
douse
just like-
them.
Just like pull a lever, like the electric chair, just like.
Total bouse. You
I'm
have
here
to make
for
it. I will say, if you're going to charge a good penny for it, you have to make it so the guest is really stupid if they miss. You can't make it skill. It needs to be.
Like, yeah.
It has to be where you pay. It has a sensor that if you pay the money and you know it, it should be a simple. Oh man.
And the only reason I say it has to be expensive is it takes time to fill those buckets.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you can't have someone sitting there
Well,
pumping the quarters in.
Think about it. I mean, on your average play area, it takes what 20 minutes to fill one up.
Mm,
5, I'd say.
5.
I'd say 5, 10
It's
minutes.
been a while. I will admit, as a grown adult, I'm like, I shouldn't be in here, but this is so much freaking fun.
Like, that would just be awesome. And yeah, that could also work on. It could work on Dudley. It could work on Popeye and Bluto because
Jurassic Park might as well be there.
Jurassic Park is a ride that could be better. Oh dear God!
Have you seen it in other countries? Like, I've seen what you could be, and it is glorious.
And we have
Well,
a lift hill.
Oh.
That's it.
What about the one out in California? I mean, they just
Better than Orlando.
Well, it's better than Orlando, but it's still not like the other parks. Actually, the other parks, it's a rapids ride.
There's a rapids ride, but then who was it? Was it Singapore that just opened up basically? It's not even a water ride. It's their equivalent to a gyrosphere, but you're basically in like a Jeep. But it's supposed to make you feel like you're in one of those gyrosphere vehicles. And the entire dark ride is like this. Like at one moment in the video, you're like going backwards, and the T-Rex or the Indominus is like chasing you on the track, like an animatronic full-length dinosaur.
I believe it is Singapore because I've seen the video.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, this is what Jurassic Park could be. And listen, they finally got a Jurassic Park attraction worth its spit. They finally did. I'll admit that. The Velocicoaster is worth every penny they paid for that thing.
Yeah,
It absolutely is. The
I've heard that roller
is.
coaster is nuts.
The problem is, I don't care how well you theme it. It's still a roller coaster.
It
Like
is. Oh, it is. But you know what? That park desperately needed another roller coaster.
Oh,
big roller
it-
coaster.
it did. I'm more saying like it's the immersive attractions that Universal is missing in Orlando for the most part. The deep immersion, cool shit.
Storytelling. Yeah,
Like that's where
They've always-
especially the Japanese park, the Asian parks succeed in for both companies is
Oh,
the immersive rides.
we all know why they succeed. There's different things are allowed over there. There's different ways they do business, or bend it, if you will.
I still just want the pirates from Shanghai, please.
You're a monster.
Pirates from Shanghai.
I am not going to show it because there are reasons Bruce doesn't like it. But
You're a monster. All joking aside here. Oh my, Brian, you haven't seen this video.
Wait, yeah. Oh wait, you're talking about the the Battle of the Sunken.
If you watch this
Yeah.
and you're
Yeah.
a theme park fan, you have to have a tissue or something under you because it's just like, this is so beautiful. I just want to ride it over and over.
Pirate
But over
ride is
there,
nuts.
they run things so differently. Everything over there, you're like, how? How can everything be? There's a reason Donkey Kong is starting life over there right now. With the roller coaster. Oops. Guess I shouldn't be saying that. Everyone knows it anyway. Spoiler alert. But yes, like Shanghai. Oh my God, they're pirates.
Yeah.
Like I think Tokyo has the Arendelle section. They have a Tangled section, and you're just like, it's nicer than anything we have here. And I'm just looking at artwork. I digress.
do they spell coaster with a K?
Where? Overseas?
For a certain coaster in Universal you just mentioned.
The Velocicoaster?
I just don't want to say Donkey Kong.
Oh, yes, they do.
That's all I needed to know.
Yes, they do. No, Donkey
Kong
Kong is going to be spelled with it's going to be no. Donkey Kong is listen. It's the worst kept secret ever because we all knew it was coming. Fun fact: it's going to be on an arm. You're riding in a barrel. It's a mine cart, kids. We've all known this. We've all seen it out there. Donkey Kong's a freaking mine cart. It's going to rock your world. It's going to dispel the ghost of Mario Kart. Mario Kart is going to suck in California. It's going to suck in Orlando. But Donkey Kong is going to fix everything. Yes, I know I'm yelling.
I just saw Dose and I like took our headpieces off at the same time. We're like, yow!
It needs to be said with the passion that I feel for this project because I'm so upset with the did with Mario Kart, but I'm so happy with the doing with Donkey Kong. The plans are out there online. Also, in case anyone didn't miss it, this is about, again, talk about Universal here. Spoiler alert. The Universal Monsters section, and they're talking for Epic Universe. Van Helsing's in the castle. I've seen these plans. I've seen them 100 times. I saw them with Harry Potter. I know that load and unload circle anywhere. I've been looking at these for over a decade now. Van Helsing is coming. You heard it here. If I'm wrong, I'll eat my words. I'm telling you, I bet that ride in that castle's Van Helsing on anything I stand by.
Somebody get that man a hat so he can eat it.
It's going to be Van Helsing. I'm telling you, it's going to be Van Helsing.
I would assume it's the Hugh Jackman Van Helsing.
No,
just Van Helsing.
Just Van Helsing.
No,
okay.
No movie. This is Universal Monsters, no movie. It's just going to...
that was Universal, though. Van Helsing...
But it wasn't Universal.
Epic Universe. It's an Epic Universe. The plan... They're showing the rumored plans. I'm like, just Van Helsing. They've been talking about this forever on a Kuka arm. I know that circle for load and unload. Van Helsing. It has to be.
It absolutely is. And I do have one comment on Mario Kart from my recent trip to Disney. I should not be comparing Mario Kart's Disney analogous to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Is Mickey Runaway's Railway that slow, though?
No, it's faster.
Thank you.
Wait. Mickey and Minnie.
You heard me.
Fast.
You heard me.
I mean, I know the Mario ride is slow, but
watch the Mario ride and particularly break the immersion for yourself and try to watch the ground for it because it doesn't move.
Just watch the one without. There's two videos out there. There's one with AR, one without AR. The whole point is when you have the AR on the augmented reality, it's supposed to make you. They said Rainbow Road is the one section that definitely feels the fastest, but that's like being the tallest dwarf here. So, this being the tallest of the dwarves. Mario Kart is that slow. Literally, I'm a large gentleman. Fast is what I'm not known for being necessarily when I'm walking. Some will argue that.
I mean,
but I can walk faster than that in the city.
Is it like Haunted Mansion slow with the Omni Mover?
Different, but exactly the same.
Yeah, about that speed.
Here's the again. If you've heard me say this before, the thought process is, but our sets are so nice, they're gonna miss it. But it's such a beautiful looking attraction. Mario Kart needs to move.
It's almost like if you built a slow Sonic attraction.
Oh God.
To quote a commercial I used to like, it's not how fast, it's not how well you kart, it's how well you kart fast. You guys don't remember those? Not how well you mow, it's how well you mow fast. It's all about speed. It's Mario Kart. Come on. Disappointment. Oh my God, I'm really disappointed.
If I am riding a ride, I don't want to be riding the 50cc Mario Karts. I want the 150cc's.
I want the 200 cc's. I want to be flying over
or the 200 cc's.
It's been a while.
That's the problem with what they're doing there, and I understand it's all going to be carbon copies from what I'm reading online. Again, it's all out there online, folks. This is not a new information. It's been out there for years. Donkey Kong, this is not new. We all know what it's going to be, but Donkey Kong is going to dispel Mario Kart. Donkey Kong is going to be amazing.
So I will say, congratulations on Universal for acquiring land from Lockheed Martin for Epic Universe. I didn't know there was a Lockheed facility that close, but hey, cool, you got land.
Congratulations. You got land, you're going to squander.
Hey, they make the most out of they can do because, they do now charge $60 for VIP parking.
I saw that. I'm very excited for the Universal Monster section of Epic Universe because, well, Universal Monsters. Anyway, we are a Disney show. Back on the topic of Disney.
What's Disney? I ain't got nothing Disney. We're out of Disney.
You know what, then? We're out of Disney. I'll just say it. Early rumors for Horror Nights, Chucky.
Well,
Chucky and Gremlins. That's what I'm hearing early.
Chucky and Gremlins, okay.
Chucky the TV show. And if you were a horror fan, you have not been watching. I am not a Child's Play fan. I'm not a necessarily fan. I've seen them all. I wouldn't say against the movies, but I'm not a fan. If you're not watching this TV, if you're a horror fan, you're not watching the TV show Chucky. Catch up.
I gotta watch it. I gotta watch it.
Epic. Don Mancini has created gold. Other horror movies have tried to transition to TV and failed. I hope they never make another Child's Play movie ever. I hope they never make another Chucky movie as long as we live. Chucky belongs on TV.
Really?
Oh my gosh, Chucky belongs on TV and TV only. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's over the top. It's crazy. It's insane. It is everything you would want it from it. It really is.
And of the villain type of horror movie, that's what I'll call all the slasher flicks and whatever. I think Chucky is the one who most lends himself to this format.
It really does. And every episode, they were allowed 10 F-bombs per episode, from what I understand. And the kills are in fact, the title card of each episode where they show Chucky shows the kill for the most part. Watch closely because that's what you got coming up. It's funny. It's over the. I was looking forward to each. I couldn't wait to see how it ended. I'm looking forward to every episode. Can't wait for season 2.
I was gonna say, is it a limited series, like just a one-off, or is it like there's actually like
already greenlit for season 2? Returning characters galore. They're already teasing more. Don Mancini in interviews is already teasing more returning characters. There's one character in particular I think we're still going to see again. Though they're gone, no, they're not. TV ruled. No body, not dead. Simple as that. No spoiler, but that's all I'm going to say. No body, not dead.
Fair enough.
But there's a moment in the last episode. This is not a spoiler. Where Chucky recaps all his kills for the season, but there's a moment in the last episode where Chucky starts listing off weapons he doesn't like. And if you're a fan, if you've watched any of his movies, it's a pretty comical list because they're all the ways of Chucky's demise in the past. Literally all of them. Also, again, Chucky is the longest continuing horror franchise. They've never broken away. They've never changed. There's not been a reboot. That Child's Play doesn't count here because we've already changed Chucky franchises.
Right.
The first 3, and then they move on to Chucky because of rights issues, but they've never broken the story one tiny iota. And literally, if you want to watch the show, you need to watch the movies. Curse and Cult of Chucky follow literally right into the TV show. But that and Gremlins are what I'm hearing for Horror Nights. I'm hearing Gremlins is almost a lock, and Chucky is 110%. And frankly, going to be the joke house. It's going to rock your world. It is such a fun TV show. It really is.
Gremlins would be fun. I would enjoy going through that house, especially like them popping out.
And especially I'm hoping they do both movies at once.
I hope
What a
so,
movie!
too.
What an idea!
I want Rambo Gizmo. I want a scene where Gizmo is the Rambo with. Oh my God, yeah.
I normally wouldn't agree, but after Slaughter Cinema and seeing the one Critters-esque scene and what they can do there, which I'm like, come on, do Critters then, because you clearly kick ass at it.
Critters would be fun too.
Not gonna happen.
Well, yeah, but
those are the early rumors. Everyone keeps saying Stranger Things, and I say, please no, Netflix, please no.
Well, I mean, they do have one more season to go with Stranger Things. So.
No, they don't. They have more than one season to go.
Well, season 4 is coming out. That's the last season. That's what I'm saying. So, like, depending on how popular.
That's the latest to come season.
I heard it's the final season.
I hope so, but that's not what I've been hearing.
I heard it's the final season because these kids can't get much. You know, these kids aren't getting any younger.
The Duffers' plans forever. They were saying, I hope I'm wrong. I hope you're right because it's time to end it.
Yeah, I thought this is the final season.
Stranger Things 4 should not be at Horror Nights. Why? I went through Stranger Things 2 at Horror Nights.
Kind of like Walking Dead. I think Walking Dead. I mean, that's finally ending, but like they beat that house with a dead horse.
We don't say those words. Those words are verboten. Those words are banned. Do not give them that idea.
But you could have like a Walking Dead Renaissance house and base it back off the original season.
Yeah, and keep it open year round, and then eventually, wait a minute, no one likes this anymore, so it's just going to be open for Halloween.
It's dead. Let it die, please.
Bruce, that's the whole point. It can't die.
It's a
dead.
zombie.
2016, I walked through that house, and I actually, just like the second Stranger Things house, at one point I yelled, "Well, somebody scare me! Please end this. Either scare me or let me out. There's more rooms. How is this house still going?"
Did you go up to a cast member? What do they call them?
Team members.
Team members. Did you go up with a team member that was directing slow traffic going, "Would you scare me? Would you scare me?"
No, I just got the. There was actually one heard me saying that and went, "Move along. It's almost over."
The only way that could have been better was if he just looked at you and went, "Boo." We did a haunt with my dad years ago at Dorney Park, and we walked through the whole thing. They had this like vampire nightclub one.
Yes, I remember that.
I remember that too.
My
dad was so not fazed.
And that one was not scary. That one was just meant to like.
Yeah,
well, you know.
For teenager, yeah.
I forget what we say, and they have one of the vampires at the end, and he's like literally walking across the queue lines, and he gets like right up in my dad's face, and my dad just looks at him and goes, "Boo."
Oh, that's the other early rumor. There's a lot of rumors circling. Horror Nights may be going back to IOA in some fashion. We'll see. Early rumors that I don't know if it's a double park or just at Islands. I doubt it's just at Islands for many reasons, but that's the early rumors. That's been your Horror Nights rumors for the month. We are still waiting on dates. We'll see.
J.K. Rowling needs to like open the Wizarding World up for Halloween Horror Nights.
They do it in Japan. Death Eaters roam in Japan. What the heck's wrong with? I digress. What the heck's wrong with Orlando that they can't do it? Come on, J.K.
For heaven's sakes, like a large theme in the books is how much they celebrate Halloween.
I actually think
Death
it's
Eaters, Dementors, House of Slytherin, that whole like area sells itself.
I think it's because you have back-to-back areas where how scary can you make Seuss Landing?
It's already scary as it is. I mean, have you been on Cat in the Hat lately?
And who knows? No, thank God. Who knows?
It needs some love.
It needed love a decade ago.
And then there's obviously the age-old question of what are you doing with Marvel because of the issues they've had in the past. What do you mean they were showing dead Marvel characters? What do you mean they were dead? Yeah, they were decapitated. What's the big deal? That's not part of our deal, Universal.
What they
Oops.
should do is have Thanos going around snapping people.
Can't.
I know. But just have Thanos just walking around just snapping. That's it. Just snapping.
I'm actually wondering if they are doing a double park. I'm actually wondering if we may see a return of Maximum Carnage.
Ooh.
I can believe that because of the movie.
With the Carnage Warehouse being a thing, I'm very curious to see. Again, this is all early speculation and rumors. The one thing they put up, I was like, that don't make sense, but whatever. This is just early stuff. We're not. The only thing almost guaranteed is Chucky because, well, they own it.
So, just speculating here. If they do 2 parks, you think it'll be 2 tickets?
No. It's 1 ticket. When I say 2 parks, the way they did it in the last time, which do not grow core this time, for the love of God. It was 1 ticket. I think you had to enter through IOA, and it was dual park, meaning the houses kind of were along the same yard. You had the front yard and Field of Screams in between the 2 parks. And when I say dual park, it's the backstage areas because they use the sound stages and they had other ones built on the other side.
So you could theoretically park hop just behind you.
It wasn't even park hopping, which was all behind the scenes. Okay, you want to get to this house? You have to cross the Field of Screams or the front yard to get over to do Horror Nights, Nightmares, and I'm forgetting the other names. Second time this week, actually, Halloween Horror Nights 14 has come up. What's your breaking point? In my life because, well, it's me. But yeah,
that can work. I'm just thinking, since they are trying seemingly to want to get younger people in, you do it 2 parks, you have 2 tickets, and you have the 1 park be a little bit not so scary, but milder.
That's hard to do with having. That would depend on what houses you want to have. The only reason I don't know if they would do that is because they've had, like I said, I was behind a parent and a kid. Well, do you want to come? We're doing all the houses, going to Dead Patient Zero. Dead Exposure. I must have Dead Silence. That was the wrong year. Dead Exposure, Patient Zero. I'm looking at the guy. If he doesn't, you came for Stranger Things. Don't make him go in this house. Go over to Slaughter Cinema where it's fun. Don't make him walk in that room. Could be. I'm not saying it can't be, but then it becomes, well, at some point now you have to have, okay, let me scan your ticket. It's a dual park. Now you're allowed in. It becomes I'm not saying it couldn't be, but that would become a bit of an issue. They've always run it is that, hey, you bought your ticket. At that point, we don't give a damn.
It could purely be something like, okay, if it's 1 ticket, when you try to walk between them, there's just some little notification, and only when going from mild to wild, that there be scares in here. You cross this line, and all of a sudden, there are the roaming scare actors literally trying to scare you. Versus,
it's hard to say.
I know.
I find scare zones to be entertainment zones, not really scary. When I walk through them, it's to be entertained by what's going on around me. I'm never scared.
Right.
It's been years since I've walked through a scare zone and had to jump. Nothing like that first year where that guy got me with that chick. Oh no, I shouldn't say that. That was a good one. The guy at the trash can. I will never forget that. I hope that better not be recycling. I was like, what the heck just happened? The garbage can yelled at me.
And then Bruce was scared by Tromaville. Got it.
Garbage can help. What the hell? Then I saw the clown. I'm like, oh, you're back there. Hello, sir.
But I think on that incredible bombshell, it is time to end for tonight. We've run out of things to talk about, and we're going on nearly 2 hours.
Yeah. I just realized, I think this porg actually talks, too. I'm not kidding. I bought this not realizing. It does. Oh my God.
That's happened to me in my life.
Oh, and this is Bruce. Bruce, meet Bruce.
Hi, Bruce.
That's Bruce.
We have a musical. I'll see it one day.
Let's see if this works here. I don't know.
Nah.
And yes,
can't.
the Bruce Lee musical is about Jaws.
I may have taken the battery out. I don't know. It's like something
It's
if
all-
you squeeze the. Oh, damn it! That's what happens. $20 toy from Disney doesn't work anymore.
Damn it, Chapek.
It's all Chapek's fault. And you know, that is the end of the episode. Have a great night, and we'll
Have
catch
a
you
happy
sometime in the new
holiday,
year.
ladies and gentlemen.
Happy holidays, Merry
Happy
Christmas,
New
Merry
Year.
Festivus, Happy Hanukkah, belated Hanukkah.
Happy
Whatever
Life
you
Day.
I
Festivus
still
for the
don't
rest of us.
understand that. I could have bought Life Day merchandise, and I did not.
Let's
Seriously?
have a joyous celebration.
They had a shit ton of Life Day merchandise.
That's awesome that they did. That is awesome.
Yep.
If
So-
you're at home bored with looking nothing to do, Google Celebrate the Seasons at Disney. I missed that show. You all should watch it too.
And on that, quack.